Well, hello and welcome to the living room of the dollhouse for another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Derek Goldschneider and you Stelfers for October 11th, the day of gracious ease. That's right. Near the top of the page is a visual representation, if you like, of the day of gracious ease. We have us a picture of a maraca posed up against, or I don't know, resting upon one of them old-fashioned restaurant chairs. I don't know if that's a visual representation of the day of gracious ease that I can make sense of, but it's not altogether important. Maybe there's some correlation with that as we get on with the read, but again, not altogether all too important. What is important is it's October 11th. And it's somebody's birthday. That's right. So I just want to say happy birthday. That's right. That's what's important. And if this video finds you late, I don't know, days, weeks, months, well, I hope you had a happy birthday. But for everyone else who's just joining us randomly, ideally here to support and celebrate the October 11th birthday instead of just coming in here randomly, I want to say hello and welcome to you too. And I hope you enjoy yourself. Now, before we dive in with the redirect, let's roll some dice. That's right. This is the DykASSt birthday broadcast, so we like to roll some dice around these here parts and live up to the namesake. But more importantly, I like to take this as an opportunity for synchronicity. That's right. And we rolled us a 6 and a 2. 4 and 8. That's right. And what is synchronicity, you might be wondering? Well, it's just you getting out into the world and letting the universe show you it's with you on your path. And you do that by looking for these numbers. And when you see them, chasing them down. That's right. Now, you don't have to go by these numbers, but it is preferable that you get your own set of dice more often than not so that you can ascribe directional values to number sets so you know where you're going, and then you can roll yourself some numbers to find out how long you go in those directions. But as you're doing so, just be on the lookout for your numbers. These are the ones you agree upon with the universe yourself, but the intention's here for you, for your 6 and your 2, 4 and 8. And as you're doing that, you might just see things start to line up or take on a theme, or you'll be surprised at how many of those numbers start jumping out at you because, well, you're looking for them, right? When otherwise you wouldn't be. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the universe isn't doing that for you, all right? You just got to expand all horizons. That's right. And even if that's not what's going on, hey, at least you're getting your steps in. But hey, who's to say? Maybe the old number 8 bus pulls up, and so you jump on that thing. You roll the dice, find out how far to go or how long to stay on the bus, and you roll an 8 again, let's say, and you get off on the next stop. And what is it? It's the number 8 stop. Well, more of these, what do you call them? Coincidences, maybe? Maybe, but maybe you get off that bus and you find yourself in front of a maraca shop. Who's to say? But that's the kind of thing that very well could happen when the universe starts lining things up for you. Anyway, I think you get the point. So let's get on with the birthday read. Your month is October, your day is the 11th, and your sign is 16 to 19 degrees Libra of the Libra III period specifically. And your quality and element is cardinal air. All right, October 11th, the day of gracious ease. Those born on October 11 have vivid imaginations, like excitement, and want to be at the center of what is going on and feel that they must play an important social role. However, their sensuous and pleasure-loving nature often holds them back. Finding their proper place in the world is of the utmost importance to them, and it well should be, since career is an area in which difficulties abound for October 11 people. In fact, they may have to change jobs with regularity until they find the occupation for which they are best suited. And regardless of career, the bottom line for those born on this day is social involvement, for they are highly averse to an isolated lifestyle. Their fate is intimately tied up with that of their fellow human beings, so much so that they may perform well in the role of a group or personal representative. October 11 people can be too nice and easygoing, and part of the reason for their career indecision or for their tendency to settle for whatever happens to come along is that they do not have a whole lot of intense and directed, or for that matter selfish, it says in parentheticals, ambition. And because they do not enjoy complications, they may not choose to present themselves with challenges. Being basically comfortable and happy, developing a lifestyle where they may easily divide their attentions between career, love life, family affairs, and forms of relaxation and enjoyment, being fulfillment enough. And October 11 people enjoy working with others and being part of a team. Their likable personality makes it possible for them to move freely from one social or work stratum to the next. And they have a way of feeling at home with the highest or the lowest level of society. And those who have had advantages of wealth or education rarely appear snobbish or elitist. And October 11 people must not allow themselves to be imposed upon or manipulated by more intense, better directed types who know what they want and will do what they have to do to get it. Admittedly, those born on this day will generally give friends and even acquaintances a second or third chance when trespassed upon. And October 11 people should perhaps examine their motives in this regard. If they do so from a position of strength, such accepting behavior may not only be healthy, but an indication of spiritual development. On the other hand, if there are masochistic urges working, changes should be made. And when October 11 people are truly satisfied with what they have, they experience a kind of bliss unknown to most people. Not having big problems with acceptance, however, does not guarantee that the other areas of their spiritual life are so well developed, and therefore they must summon the energy needed for self-understanding and personal evolution, or they will surely stagnate. Well, I will say this was a pretty interesting birthday breakdown. A lot of different dynamics, even though they focused on just one or two specifically. But in any event, hey, I like to take an opportunity to kind of give some notes here. So let's see what I had to say about the birthday breakdown. October 11th, a day of gracious ease. All right. You have a vivid imagination and like excitement, and live a life where social involvement is of the utmost importance to your lifestyle. To the extent the reading claims difficulties in finding a career in line with this lifestyle will be an area of significant difficulty. This reality, the reading further claims, in no small part is largely owed to your nice and easygoing nature and a seeming lack of ambition, they said, also coupled with a tendency to settle for what comes along. But hey, you have to make money somehow, right? Regardless of whether you can find that unicorn career in line with your lifestyle. And it's an issue further complicated with this purported aversion to complication, to which I argue most folks have that same issue, right? But maybe the difference is when complications arise, you don't really do much about them, whereas other people do. Obviously, I'm just trying to work this out here. It may not be the case at all right? But maybe it is. And that said, the reading claims your likable personality allows you to move freely between social stratums, and you feel at home with people regardless of their social standings. And that is a skill right there, let me tell you. Regardless of anything else that comes before it. That's pretty huge, I think. So with that being your seeming attraction in life, it's easy to see this being taken advantage of element come into fruition. Whether by the intrinsic needs of what's required to work a job going against your nature, or acquaintances who may trespass against you. All right, hats off to you being the bigger person. I'm assuming you are, because you're easygoing and likable. But I just hate to see people with this brilliant bliss that they kind of described being broken down by life. It's not one of those things that people like to hear about. So I fully endorse finding a way to stand up for yourself and your lifestyle in those circumstances without the same actions destroying it. A kind of reconciliation that may well be even harder to find than a career that makes use or is in line with your unique personality. But hey, that's part of life's journey, right? Figuring all that stuff out. I figure a lot of times, and I'm assuming that you're the kind of person I'm thinking about. things kind of fall into place for them because of their positive outlook on things and their kind of laissez-faire approach to things. That's probably using the wrong term, but you know, they kind of go through life aloof a little bit. They're always had a smile on their face, and things just always go right for them. That's the kind of person I imagine here. And they also aren't always trying to make things work for themselves. And I think by and large, that might be why. They're just kind of going with the flow and letting things happen and taking what they get. And a lot of times, I know I was a little bit jealous of those folks that I know that live like that because I can't do that myself. But hey, maybe there's a lesson to be learned there. But at the same time, who's to say? There might be stuff going on in the background that's just as difficult for them. But in any event, that's been your birthday breakdown. So let's move on to your numbers and your planets. All right. Those born on the 11th of the month are ruled by the number 2, as 1 + 1 = 2, and by the moon. And since those ruled by the number 2 often make good co-workers and partners rather than leaders, the social talents of October 11 people are likely to be expressed in family and group endeavors. And the highly imaginative and gracious side of October 11 people is enhanced by the influence of the moon and of Venus, which is Libra's ruler. But those born on this day must guard against vanity, it says, passivity, and complacent behavior. The number 11 lends a feeling for the physical plane. For October 11 people, an attraction for idealized or sensuous beauty due to Venus, it says in parentheticals, as well as a possible interest in doubles of various kinds and symmetry. And you know what's ironic? I've been rolling doubles the past few days, maybe the past 4 days we're rolling doubles, and we didn't roll doubles with you. So that's ironic, all right? You broke the trend. All those other people are in jail. That's right. In any event, hey, that's been your numbers and planets. Let's see what I had to say about them, all right? Let's get into it here. The number 2 and the moon for passive, reflective, co-worker, partner energy rather than that leader energy. And I would argue this is the first day where that moon energy makes complete sense and is perfectly coupled with what was written and broken down in the birthday breakdown. You might not agree, but I've read a lot of these, and these other ones, they brought in people that sounded like leaders, and then they said they had the moon energy and they weren't leadership material. So it's kind of like there's a disconnect there. But with you, I would argue it works perfectly, or as perfect as it can for this moon, numbers, planets, rulership thing here. And I don't reckon anyone likes the sound of passive energy over leadership material, but based on the breakdown, it just works, all right? And leadership is overrated anyhow, right? So there's just as much value in someone who fits in and functions well as a partner or a team member, maybe even more, because you're the one that does all the work, right? The leader's got to sit back and deal with the complications. Maybe that's the other thing. You just get to do what gets thrown down in front of you. And although that might be complicated, just if you've ever been in a leadership role, it can be even worse up at the top. So anyway, that's been your numbers and your planets. So let's dive in with your tarot. That's right. One of the more eclectic of the metaphysical New Age ideologies. But hey, it's in the book. We don't have to take it home with us and put it into practice. So let's see what it has to say. That's right. The 11th card of the major arcana is Justice, a serene seated woman holding the scales in one hand and a sword in the other. She reminds us of the order of the universe and that balance and harmony will be maintained in our lives as long as we continue on our path. The positive aspects of this card are integrity, fairness, honesty, and discipline. And the negative aspects are low initiative, impersonality, fear of innovation, and grievances. Ooh, getting jaded by life. That's some of the negatives there. All right, what do I have to say about your tarot here? Let's refer back to the notes here, shall we? Justice, the seated woman with the sword and the scales, reminds us that the balance and harmony in our lives will be maintained as long as we continue on our path. That's right, we said all that. Integrity, fairness, honesty, discipline are positives. Initiative, impersonality, fear of innovation, and negatives. This is a great card to remind you to be yourself. At least the way I figure it. Don't sacrifice who you are due to life being hard. And I guess it's easy to get jaded, because it seems like life is just geared to chew people up and put them to the test. And from the sounds of it, You're not a person who likes to be put to the test. You like to be easygoing. You don't like things challenging. Um, that being said, you know what? You can't really avoid it in all circumstances. So when it does hit you hard, or, just to a point where you're like, oh, I just want to give up or whatever, hey, I just say grin and bear it, but maintain that brilliance of yours, all right? And don't let anyone or anything rob you of that, okay? I've meet people that just get broken down by life, and it's a travesty to see. I think I said that before. So, you know what? If you got to grin and bear it, hey, we can do anything for a couple hours. And at the end of the day, just put back on that cape you like to wear. That's right, all that positive energy. And don't let the fear of innovation and grievances and personality and lack of initiative get you down. At least get the initiative, put your cape back on, and be brilliant. That's right. You gotta glisten and shine. That's what I say. All right, hey, that's been your tarot. Let's dive in with your health. Those born on October 11 may be prone to suffer from debilitating and diet-related disease due to a sedentary lifestyle, and they must take care of their backs and kidneys if they sit for long periods, and make an effort to drink plenty of fresh water each day. I know that sounds just like some regular advice, doesn't it? They will have to beware of overeating and the addictive powers of tobacco, alcohol, and caffeine. The pleasures of the bed and table are important to October 11 people, but they must remember the price of excess. Vigorous but properly performed physical exercise is here highly recommended, not only for its health benefits, but to help strengthen alertness, willpower, and drive. All right, I like them last three words there. Strength and alertness, willpower, and drive. That's right. Okay, what I say about your health here? Prone to debilitated diet-related disease if living a sedentary lifestyle there. So take care of your kidneys and drink lots of water and avoid your vices. Now, I know that probably sounds like some generic advice, but here's the thing. They've only really been drilling down on that for the Libra period here. And I would say the first 10, 12 days, they were hitting it hard. And they seldom did that in all the other periods of the zodiac that I read previously. Just onesie-twosies here and there kind of thing. But every day the Libra. But interestingly, like the past 3 or 4, no mention of the kidneys or the back or the vices at all. But then they brought it back with you. Interesting. Or maybe yesterday they did, but I can't recall off the top of my head. But they brought it back here with you. So all I'm trying to say is perhaps be mindful. But I don't know how you really take care of your kidneys except by guarding them from punches that may come in. Them rabbit punches, right? Who's to say? Let me do it in the comments if you know how to protect your kidneys. Other than that, what else we got here? Ways I broke it down again. So maybe take note. Pleasures of the bed and the table are important to you, it said. But remember the price of excess. Your soul is what I'm guessing. That's right. I don't know what it means otherwise. But don't sacrifice your brilliance, like we said, all right? And you know what? The excess in the bedroom can lead to collateral damage, and you don't like complications, so be mindful of that. It says vigorous exercise, highly recommended, and I don't know if that assumes a sedentary lifestyle, but assuming it doesn't, maybe be mindful, because they don't say that for everyone either. Sometimes some folks get away with no exercise, according to the book, but you need to get that vigorous exercise in. And not all in the bedroom, ostensibly. That's right. Even though it's your passion, it said. Not passion, he's some other word. Anyway, that's been your health. Let's dive in with some advice. All right, here we go. Beware of self-satisfaction. Push yourself a bit more. Avoiding problems should not mean avoiding challenges. I like that one. Seek to improve yourself daily, and desire is a part of living. And keep your eyes on the stars, but your feet on the ground. All right, hey, pretty good advice. One or two of them was a little bit meh, but I like a lot of the other ones. All right, what do I have to say about your advice? Oh, I've had to put it in a book. I ran out of space on the page there. All right, beware of self-satisfaction. Again, not sure what that means. Maybe the what did I write here? I can't quite read it here. Maybe be realistic with what you can get away with, all right? Insofar as life isn't all peaches and cream. So you just got to realize that. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you want to live aloof. I don't know, but that's not very realistic. I think that's what I meant. But there's also a hedonistic element that you could take from it. All right, a life in pursuit of pleasure. Don't let that get in the way of doing things not as pleasurable. All right, challenges. And we can bring in the challenges. Are not the same as problems. Okay, valuable idea. I think I like that one. Dream, but be realistic. Push for things you want, which may require challenging endeavors. All right, but those things add further depth and they build character and can be done without losing who you are, especially if you've got the willpower. That's right. And they say the vigorous exercise lends to that. Oh, apparently. What else do I have to say here? Oh, I got something else for... All right, loaded ideas, a little bit of some catch-22 elements in there, but hopefully it wasn't completely disjointed in me trying to get certain dynamic ideas across. I think I did okay. Stay brilliant, all right? And even if you have to throw yourself in with activities that go against that energy, like I said, you can put the cape back on after. We can do anything for a few hours. That's what got me through some of my struggles in the military. Hey, I just got to make it to the end of the day. Then I get to rack out. And you might have to start all over again the next day, but hey, you just put that back on again. I can do anything for a few hours. All right, a challenge for sure, but a worthy pursuit, I would argue. Okay, hey, that's been your advice and some notes there at the end. I don't always do that unless I feel like I'm being disjointed, but let's take the energy down just a hair and dive in with your meditation. That's right, your meditation. Okay, you ready? TV is an electronic attempt at telepathy. Once again, TV is an electronic attempt at telepathy. Not sure what they mean by that. I don't even have a read for it, but I wasn't going to give you a read anyway. That's your meditation. It's your birthday. That's for you. And if I had a read, I wouldn't want to put some spin on it that would affect you. All right. That's for you to focus on. All right. That's been your meditation. Let's dive in. Your strengths and your weaknesses. That's right. Let's do some of the work here. Your strengths, so you know these are easy. You're charming, you're accepting, and you're secure. But your weaknesses, oh, here we go. You ready? Your weaknesses, you're complacent, you're passive, and you're stuck. No one likes to be stuck. All right. Hey, those are all things you can work on if they apply. That's right. Okay. That's been your strengths and your weaknesses. Let's dive in with those born on this day. That's right. And when we dive in with those born on this day, a little something I like to do outside of seeing who shares your company is drill down on the idea of finding our passions. That's right. Because I get out in the world and I meet folks and I ask them what they do, and more importantly, if they like it. And a lot of times they don't. Sometimes they're smiling. They say they do, but you can read it on them. They don't like it. Or it's one of those things where you're like, how could you like that? That's what you do. How could you like that? Any event, the whole idea here is I think it's a perfect opportunity to see what people who got their stamp on the cultural zeitgeist, if you like, got themselves in the book, see what they did, what their passions ostensibly were. It might not have been their passions, but it's what got them famous. And the point being is if you're struggling to figure out your passion, it says you're stuck, maybe you are, maybe you can take some inspiration from people who had something in common with you. Your birthday. All right. That's right. Because you know what? We got to put in the time and the work to figure out our passions sometimes. And in this world where it's just designed to grind you up, not a lot of time to do that. So hopefully we can take some inspiration. All right, let's get on with it, buddy. That's right. We start off with Eleanor Roosevelt, the stateswoman, social reformer, and the First Lady, and the U.S. UN delegate. We also have Jerome Robbins, a choreographer and dance company founder, as well as a stage director. We have Art Blakely, the jazz drummer, band leader of the Jazz Messengers. We also have Maria Bueno, a Brazilian tennis champion, a 4-time U.S. Open, 3-time Wimbledon winner. Sir George Williams, British social reformer and the YMCA founder. Charles Revson, a cosmetic merchant and was the Revlon founder. We also have Lester Bowie, the jazz trumpeter of Lester Bowie's Brass Fantasy, founding member of Art Ensemble of Chicago. We also have Daryl Hall, the soul singer and songwriter of Hall & Oates. We also have Francois Mauriac, French Nobel Prize-winning dramatist, novelist of Viper's Tangle. There's a title for you. Billy Higgins, jazz drummer. Pierre Charles Jouvet, perhaps, a French poet and a novelist of the deserted world. We have Joseph Alsop Jr., syndicated columnist. We also have Emilio Greco, an Italian sculptor. Thomas Swan, a fantasy writer of Day of the Minotaur. We also have Robert P. Gale, a bone marrow transplant surgeon. That's the first one in the book, as far as I can recall. We also have Ron Liebman, a TV and film actor. We also have Francis, looks like LLG, or it could be, so LLG, I don't know, pediatrician of the Giselle Institute. We have Frederick Bergius, 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 perhaps. Anyway, German Nobel Prize-winning chemist, and Simon Schechter, an Austrian organist and a composer, and Pat Flanagan, a pyramid power writer. Not sure what that is, but hey, let's give it to him. Put him in the book, so maybe you can take some inspiration from it when you search for it and see what it means. Any event. That's been those born on this day. I saw we butchered a couple names, usually with the French ones, so let's make up for it by doing some butchering. It's not done in malice, it's just hooked on phonics. Doesn't work for me oftentimes with the names there. Any event, that's been those born on this day. Hopefully you could take some passion, some inspiration for some of your own endeavors. I know that's a tall ask, but you never know what might get in one ear and become materialized or manifested on this world because of the inspiration there. Here's hoping it does. That's right. If he had that problem to begin with. Any event, that being said, that about rounds out your birthday read, except to say your season is fall. Your sign once again is Libra, of the Libra III period specifically, and your quality and elements is Cardinal air. And this has been October 11th, the day of gracious ease, from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and you Stelfers. I have an affiliate link for this book down in the description if you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself. It makes a great coffee table book, and if you have company over, a great icebreaker, figuratively or literally, especially if you get the hardcover there. But that's not what's important here. What's important is it's someone's birthday today. That's right. And wishing you a happy birthday again. That's right. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm purposed to be here. I wanted to wish everybody a happy birthday. That's right. But for everyone else who joined us to celebrate, I just want to say thanks for joining us and hope to see you for your birthday read. But lest we forget, your daily numbers. That's right. Get out there, fight that sedentary lifestyle they say you might be purposed to have, and get your steps in. Look for your 6 and your 2 and your 4 and 8. And let the universe show you it's with you on your path. I didn't put together a very good improvisational example of the synchronicity, but you can find some of that interesting stuff out there on the internet for yourself, if you're interested. Either way, get your vigorous exercise, not only in the bedroom, and have a happy birthday, all right? That's right. And take care of them kidneys, all right? Don't you forget now.